What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Rage in the Cage with Bam Bam and Schwaggs. I'm your host, Frank Bam Bam Horak. With me, as always, my co-host, Mikey Schwaggs.
Hey Frank, how's it going? It's a cold morning out there.
Thank you for the weather report, Mikey.
Always, as always.
Now, we had a big weekend of fights, UFC on Fox #2.
Some great fights.
Some great fights. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about a couple of the prelims that stuck out to us.
Okay.
Let's go with LeVar Johnson making his UFC debut against Joey Beltran.
And went pretty much as predicted. LeVar Johnson handled him on the stand-up and knocked him out pretty viciously.
Yeah, handled him on the stand-up, to say the least. First person to ever knock out Joey Beltran, and it was pretty damn impressive, actually.
Yeah.
He dominated him. Beltran came in, only like at 225. It was the lightest he ever been.
He was about 15
kind
to
of
20 pounds lighter
I think he's
than him.
trying. Supposedly Joe Rogan was saying he might be going to light heavyweight. I guess that's an alright move, but I don't know if it's so wise to be dropping weight when you're fighting a guy that's I think LeVar Johnson weighed in 255.
Yeah, he was pretty big.
So you might not want to cut weight when you're facing a guy that's 255, and he certainly paid for it because he got knocked out.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. It wasn't like, oh, the ref stopped it too early or anything. No. He got knocked out.
He hit him with 7 unanswered uppercuts, and it was just vicious.
It was very vicious. So next opponent for LeVar Johnson, who would you like to see?
I think a great matchup for him would be the guy's locked up right now and bat with somebody, but Travis Brown, I think, would be a great matchup for him. I think it would result in a stand-up war.
Yeah, somebody would go to sleep in that fight. That's not bad. I was thinking maybe Stephen Struve.
That's also another good fight.
Johnson would be a nice matchup for him. He's definitely going to take a little step up after that nice display against Beltran.
Definitely.
What about another fight in the prelims?
We got Charles Oliveira versus Eric Wisely, featherweight fight, and it resulted in the first calf slicer submission in UFC history.
Never heard of the calf slicer before, but it was awesome. It was a nasty-looking submission.
I didn't even know he was trying to submit him when he was doing it.
I'm a big fan of Charles Oliveira. I thought he had great potential in the lightweight division.
Well, yeah.
He moves down to featherweight. I think his potential is even greater now in the featherweight division.
He was viewed as a big prospect in the lightweight division. He suffered a devastating loss, and then he moved down because he walked around at 155. He didn't really have to cut any weight for the lightweight, so he could move down. He moved down to featherweight, and he looked pretty dominating in his performance against Wisely.
He looked, very impressive. I like to see him now take another guy I like to see take a step up. I think maybe the Korean Zombie might be a good matchup.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good matchup. Maybe the winner of the Hamonic versus Ronnie Yaha bout at UFC 140. What's so funny about it?
I love that guy's name.
Ronnie Yaha.
Ronnie Yaha, yeah.
Where is he from? Do you know? I don't know. But that's an interesting first and last name.
Yeah. I don't know.
Ronnie Yaha.
That would be a good matchup, though. Yeah, I like it. The Korean Zombie or the winner of that fight. I can see that.
Okay.
It'd be good. Then Evan Dunham.
Evan Dunham versus Nick Lentz. That was the final prelim bout.
Yeah, that was a good fight. Dunham I'm a big fan of Dunham. I think he could do a lot of good things. I thought he beat Sean Shirk in that fight.
Oh my God! I don't even want to talk about that.
That was a bad decision on that one. So yeah, he's definitely back up on the rise in the lightweight division.
Oh, I think he's closing in on like the top tier lightweight contenders.
Yeah, he's definitely
closing
moving
in
up
on
there.
that.
That was a big win for him. That was a dominant big win for him. I'd like to see him now step it up. What do you got for him?
I'm thinking either maybe Donald Cerrone or even Edson Barboza.
I was thinking Barboza, but Cerrone's another good choice. Also coming off a loss. Him and Dunham now pretty much on the same rung of the ladder.
I think that would be the perfect matchup for Cerrone. It's a perfect comeback fight for him. And
I think that's a great fight, actually.
It's also a perfect step up in competition for Dunham.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think that's either Barboza or Cerrone. But yeah, Cerrone Dunham. I like that fight. I think that would be a good one.
And this guy Cerrone fights at least 6-7 times a year.
Yeah. So yeah, he'd be game, and that would be a great fight. All right, I think that pretty much covers the prelims.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
They were.
I love this now. Fox Deportes again.
There you go. You're learning Spanish.
I need to order the Q package eventually.
I think you should probably get on that. But
there's one coming up soon.
Hey, you'll be talking Spanish in no time.
Yeah,
I love how you get the whole night now is set on UFC fights. Now you get the 3 hours on Fuel, then you got the fights on Fox.
It was perfect. It was a good evening.
Being a big MMA fan, it's great to see now get all these fights on TV.
It's wonderful
awesome. Now. Moving to the main card. First fight.
Well, let's But let me just
Well,
mention
you wanna bring up something?
there's some broomsticks in the room because I had a clean sweep for this event.
I knew. All right, you can bring it up.
Oh, I'm gonna toot my own horn now. Since you wanted to toot your own horn about Milo Diaz.
All right. Well, right now, what's the record? Are you winning what, 4-3?
I'm up 4-3 right
4-3
now.
for the race to the case of beer. First
The race to the case. That's
right.
good.
The race to the
Is that the
case.
first time you used that? I like that.
That just came to me.
I like that. That's what we're
Nice.
gonna call that.
Boom. Nailed it. So yes, the race to the case of the beer. First to 20 wins. Right now, 4-3. All right. Well, first fight that you got right was Chris Weidman against Damian Maia, which we both thought was going to be a much better fight than what it turned out to be.
Well,
it was very disappointing in my
what
eyes.
happened with at least with Weidman has an excuse. You know, he had a brutal weight cut for that fight. It was on 11 days short notice.
Yeah. No, if you want to give Weidman a pass, I can't argue that.
I'm not saying I'm giving him a pass.
No, I can understand though why he was sluggish and why he didn't look his best. No, I absolutely.
But Maia had
has no excuse for Maia.
He's been training for Bisping for
exactly.
God knows how long.
After that Anderson Silva loss, he's been putting together some good wins. He's been looking to get back into title contention, and he looked
awful.
He looked horrible. No, there was no excuse for Maia. You want to give, like I said, Weidman, you can give somewhat of a pass. Kudos to him for stepping up on short notice. He had the, like you said, bad weight cut. But Maia, you had no excuse for Maia.
It went to the judges' scorecard, and the judges handed Weidman a split decision victory. I don't even think it should have been a split decision.
I think after that, Dana White tweeted that it was read wrong, that is unanimous.
Oh, okay, it was unanimous.
I'm pretty sure I read that correctly.
Because I don't think that should have been a split decision.
I didn't think so either. I thought Weidman definitely won it. But yeah, I thought the fight had potential to be very good, and it just was disappointing. It was
we were
sluggish,
building it up to be a fight of the night.
Well, it looked like it had good potential. It was just it turned into a sluggish stand-up fight.
I mean, the third round they just looked so.
And like I said, Maia,
dead.
there was no excuse for Maia. So his stock drops. Obviously, Weidman's stock goes up. Next opponent for Weidman, what do you say?
I think Weidman's now in that level of top 10 middleweights, and I think he should get a matchup in another top 10 middleweight. I know you will like this matchup. It's classic wrestler versus grappler.
I think I know you're going to say.
Weidman versus Husamar Palhares.
That's who I had also, yes. I'm a big fan. I think that would be a great matchup. And yeah, I think, like you said, he should be stepping up. Palhares is obviously on the rise as well. I think them fighting makes perfect sense. I like that. And for Maia, like I said, his stock drops a little. Who do you say for him?
I think Maia should get his opponent that he was originally supposed to face that night in Michael Bisping. You know, they both coming off tough losses.
Yeah, but at least we'll obviously get to the Bisping fight next. But Bisping at least didn't look like crap. Maia looked horrible. So I think Maia drops down. He drops down
more.
He was supposed to fight Alan Belcher like over a year ago before Belcher had a detached retina. So I like to see that fight actually happen.
That'd be a good match.
I like to see Belcher against Maia. And then I agree with you with the Palhares against Weidman. But yeah, I like to see Belcher against Maia. All right, let's move on. Sonnen, Bisping. We both had Sonnen winning. We both had Sonnen dominating, actually.
Dominating, yeah.
And that was not the case.
Not by any stretch.
You have a lot of people that were saying, "Oh, Bisping got robbed" and all that stuff.
No,
I don't agree with that at all. I think
Sonnen didn't get robbed.
Sonnen definitely won the fight. The one thing I will say in Bisping's defense is one judge had a 30-27, and there's no way there's no way. It was Sonnen won 29-28.
Yes.
There was no way there was a 30-27.
No.
That was complete crap. But Sonnen won that fight. I don't know why. I don't know. Joe Rogan, in my opinion, is the best, play-by-play call guy out there. But he was all over saying how Bisping won the fight.
I know
Bisping
he was
this, Bisping that. I don't know what fight he was watching. Sonnen with his wrestling definitely won 2 out of the 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And Sonnen deserved to win the fight. Bisping, though, to his credit, held his own and did a better job than we both thought. Let's just leave it at that.
Definitely. So I think as Sonnen said after the fight, he said it was 15 awkward minutes with Bisping. Like, every time he tried to take him down, get top position on him, he reversed it. Bisping, every time he took him down, to Bisping's credit, he got right back up.
Yeah, no,
the fight really stayed on the ground.
With the exception of the third round, where Sonnen pretty much
with the exception of the third round. And that's where, everybody's saying the decision should have went to Bisping. If you look at that third round, how could you give the decision to Bisping?
No,
after that third round, it was dominated by Sonnen.
Sonnen won that fight. There's no question about it. But Bisping held his own. That's why I disagree with you. I don't think he should fight Maia because Maia looks so bad against Weidman. I like to see Bisping fight Mark Munoz. Is his next fight.
Okay.
I don't know how bad Munoz's elbow injury is. If it's bad where he's going to be out for a while, then I like to see Bisping fight the winner of Okami Bosch. That's in February, late February.
I like that matchup more than the Munoz matchup because I think Munoz he's still up there as top 5 middleweight.
Oh yeah. Well, again though, Bisping was fighting in a #1 contender
Yes,
match,
I know,
so
I know.
his stock isn't going to drop that far. And there's really, I mean, you look at that middleweight division.
It's
There's not like a whole lot of top contenders you could throw out
No.
there. So I see Bisping either against Munoz
How about
or against Okami Bosch.
Brian Stan?
Brian Stan, he's got a fight in I think April against Alexis
Oh yes,
Sakara.
he's facing.
So he's already locked up. So we'll see.
Maybe.
A couple of decent matchups for him. And then obviously Sonny now going to fight Anderson Silva for the title,
which is
most
probably,
likely in Brazil. Which
yes,
is
and that's
going to be
friggin' friggin' highly anticipated.
Yeah, that's going to be a great fight. I think though
they're trying to have it in the soccer stadium,
right,
and it's going to be like
it's
hundreds
going to be
of
a
thousands.
crazy atmosphere. Obviously, Sonny's probably the most hated man in Brazil.
Not necessarily. Now,
He's certainly up there.
as I don't know if we discussed this with the Brazilian fighters promoting with the Brazilian club soccer teams.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva tried out for a soccer team and everything, and he promotes with one of the teams. And the rival to that team, supposedly, is going to be back in Sunnin for the fight. So there's going to be a little bit of a rivalry going on in that stadium.
Now, obviously, for all those who saw that first fight, Sonnin dominated the first 4 rounds.
4.5 rounds, pretty much.
Was on his way to winning the title, and then got caught, triangle choke, had to tap out. Well, we'll get into, obviously, who's going to win that fight, but I see it being a little differently this time. I think the champ is going to
Silva's just step dominant in his last couple of performances.
Yes. Let's
he has
move on
like
and
the
talking
best
about championship fights. We had another #1 contender, Evans against Davis.
And this bout was pretty much a rout on Evans' part.
Yeah, he couldn't finish Davis. I mean, it went the distance, 5 rounds, unanimous decision for Evans. Pretty much, I mean, it was just the experience factor really played into it. And, you know, Evans, listen, you look at Evans, I think, what is he, 21, 22, 1-1 or something is his record now? I mean, he's obviously a good fighter.
Yes.
I don't really give him much of a chance against John Jones, but as far as this fight goes, yeah, he pretty much dominated Davis for the most part.
Well,
I mean, Davis held his own. Like you said, it went to a decision, 5-round decision. Evans couldn't finish him, but he was pretty much in control of that whole fight.
Yeah, he revealed a lot of holes in Davis's game, and Davis is obviously going to have to go back and work on that.
And Davis is obviously young, up and comer. He's still raw.
Not even 28.
He's still the ceiling for him is still very high.
He's still on the rise.
Absolutely,
in my opinion.
No, there's no question about it.
But yeah, Evans dominated the bout. He was able to take Davis. Davis has never been taken down at all in his UFC career, and he was able to take him down 3 times.
Yeah, no, Evans looked impressive.
He did look
very,
impressive.
very tough task ahead of him though now with John Jones.
And there's a lot of fans out there who weren't really excited about this matchup. They were.
Well, personally,
I know you weren't.
I'm not
you were
excited
looking
at
forward
all.
to Henderson versus Jones instead.
Yeah.
But now that Evans won, he has the right to the #1 contender match.
Absolutely, but I'm glad you brought up Henderson because Evans is known for getting hurt while training.
Yes.
So if I'm Dana White, I'm booking Dan Henderson on that April 21st card also.
That would be a smart idea.
As a backup plan also.
Definitely.
Opponent for Henderson, I guess you have to go maybe with Machida. Would be a good, because when you look at top contenders in the light heavyweight division, there's not many really right now. So I would go, probably Machida just fought for the title, obviously, so maybe Henderson Machida kind of makes sense to me.
That would be a good matchup.
So throw that on the card with Evans and Jones, and obviously if Evans gets hurt, then Henderson could slide right into that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And for Davis, who do you see now? Davis now fighting for a rebound fight.
For a rebound fight, I think a perfect fight for Davis would be the winner of the Bader-Jackson matchup at UFC 144 in Japan.
I could see that. I could also see the Henderson fighting the winner of that also, Machida. Because when you look at Machida, even though he just fought for the title, he's actually lost 3 of his last 4 fights.
Yeah.
So I could actually see Henderson fight maybe the winner of Rampage Bader. I could see maybe Shogun fighting Davis is the next fight.
That would be an interesting fight.
Shogun's coming off a loss. Davis coming off a loss.
Which was one of the best bouts of the year, probably.
Yeah, that was awesome. Great fight.
Wow.
So, yeah. All right, let's go. Hit me with a couple of pretenders, contenders.
Let's get right into it.
Favorite
Pretender, contender. Frank's favorite part of the show.
I love it.
We'll start it off with LeVar Johnson. Frank, is he a pretender or a contender in the UFC?
Well, he certainly looked great in his UFC debut. I'm going to have to go with pretender right now, though. I can't jump on it right away. Let's say, like I said, you picked Travis Brown. I said Stephen Struve. Let's see how he goes against the middle of the pack first. Joey Beltran's kind of at the low end of the heavyweight division. So I'll go with pretender right now.
Definitely. I'll agree with that. I like to see him fight maybe 1 or 2 more bouts.
Yeah.
See how he does against other competition. But, yeah, I'll put him as a pretender right now with the possibility of becoming a contender in the future.
Hit me with another one.
And let's get right into it. We'll go Charles Oliveira. Pretender, contender,
I'm
Frank.
going to go contender. I
I
thought he had great, like I said, great potential in the lightweight division. Moving down to featherweight, I think he's got contender.
Yeah.
Expert analysis right there. No, he's
Mark
definitely a
that down.
contender.
Definitely
With his
a contender.
height and reach, I think, and obviously his great submission skills, I think he's an absolute contender.
Yeah, he will be a contender in that featherweight division soon enough. Let's get into another one. We'll go Evan Dunham.
Evan Dunham. Well, he was
Contender, pretender.
again. He was right on that cusp of getting a title shot.